Well, did you ever imagine the Bucs would be a pass-happy offense? I mean, let's have fun with this tonight because it was a fun passing attack to watch. We know it's not going to be that way in the regular season, but once again, these quarterbacks are zinging it. These receivers are making unbelievable catches.
Yeah, I don't know if we got to pump the brakes too much on this going into the regular season. Dirk Cutter's offense is a pass-centric offense. He has a vertical offense. He wants to push the ball down the field, and we saw that a lot tonight. I mean, we saw big bomb passes to Mike Evans, Deshaun Jackson. We saw plenty of 10-plus, 15-plus catches from Cameron Brate and O.J. Howard from all three quarterbacks. And so that's kind of the tone that they're going to have going into the season. We saw them pass on first down a lot tonight, and I've got to think that's something that they're working on, that they're trying, seeing if it works for them, and if it can, they're going to pass the ball a lot more on first down going into the regular season.
When it comes to the receiver battle, I mean, you want to talk about sample size. Dirk Cutter's getting to see something. He sees what he wants to see. I mean, Sergio Bailey is staking a claim as well as anyone in this. Is this a decision, when it comes down to it, after that first four, the Bucs have got to get right because they will have to let go of some pretty good players?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's whether they're going to keep 5 or 6, it doesn't matter. Both of those guys can play, whatever. And we've seen Justin Watson, Sergio Bailey, Freddie Martino, Bobo Wilson when he's been healthy. I mean, there are so many guys down that depth chart that could make a claim for that 5th wide receiver spot. The big thing is going to be special teams. When you've got a guy that low on the pecking order, they've got to be able to do something on special teams. So Bernard Reedy as well, you can throw him in there because we know he's a dynamic returner. So that's kind of what it's going to be for the Buccaneers, but I guess it's a good problem to have because there's plenty of competition along this team, and we saw that tonight, even late in the fourth quarter.
Peyton Barber, once again, has a very good performance. I think he might have averaged over 5 per carry. He had the one big run that helped that.
Yep.
But, you know, behind him, guys are kind of scrambling a little bit here. What are your thoughts on the run game?
Yeah, and Ronald Jones, the big one, right? And we asked Dirk Cutter after the game tonight, hey, we're 2 games in. Ronald Jones has about 11 total yards in 2 games. That's not good. There's no other way you could slice it other than that's not what you want out of your high second-round pick running back, the one that you thought you were going to bring in and make dynamic. And Cutter was saying it's not from a lack of effort from Ronald Jones. They just haven't been able to spring him loose. But, you know, you and I have talked before. It doesn't make it any easier that we're getting to watch rookie running backs around the NFL make their mark, and Ronald Jones is kind of sitting here looking a little timid behind his offensive line. And so you're hoping, you know, maybe that 3rd, 4th preseason game, they got to get him carries. I mean, even if it's into the second half, that guy's got to get carries because he's got to be ready to compete on this team. He's got to be ready.
Were you surprised to see a lot of the big defensive linemen play a little later into the second quarter? I thought it was because I was looking at the Titans offense and I was like, wait a minute, that's Jason Pierre-Paul on the field.
Yeah, I think they played their defensive starters throughout the full first half. I mean, Noah Spence was on the field on that last series on defense. So they were giving those guys plenty of work. And I guess, you know, that's kind of what you want. The second preseason game, you're amping up the snaps a little bit more. That 3rd game that we're going to see next week, that's when the starters play a lot of their minutes. And so we're going to see a lot of it then. But, hey, they're trying to get these guys ready. I mean, I think that they were caught off guard last year. They got smacked in the mouth when they played some of those playoff caliber teams, and they're trying as best they can to avoid that, and that means getting their best players on the field early in this preseason.
You know, it's a group that got after it. Now, I don't want to end on a downer because it was a good night for the Bucs. However, an already thin defensive backfield took a beating tonight. MJ Stewart, Jordan Whitehead both left the game with injuries, and had the game continued or had their roles continued, they were both ruled as out.
Right.
This is not good, Trevor.
Yeah, they need some luck for this health on their defensive backside for sure, because Vernon Hargrave's already banged up. Brent Grimes has already missed time earlier this training camp.
Davis didn't even play.
Carlton Davis didn't even play. MJ Stewart had 2 fumbles in the first half before he got knocked out, and so it's not only that they're thin at cornerback, they're thin at good cornerbacks. These are young players who are starting to make their mark, who have really showed their stuff the last 2 weeks, and so they need them to be healthy. I mean, they really do, because they need them to contribute. I know it's not all at them. Injuries are kind of bad luck thing, but they need a little bit of luck here. They need these corners out on the field come week 1.
All right, Trevor Sikkema of PewterReport.com. Read his work after this big win for the Bucs. A lot to digest before the, I guess we'll call it the home opener, the preseason next week against the Detroit Lions. You can also catch him on WFLA.com.